In the previous episode, my micro caravan was invaded by midges. It was our first night in Scotland and we were losing the battle against them. To escape, Winston and I went on a bike ride, hitting the trails in Galloway Forest before pedalling back to Glentrool Campsite. We spent the following day walking the Kindness Trail and locking down the caravan in preparation of more midges as our biggest ever adventure continues. Okay, so there's more midges out tonight than there was last night because it's not raining. So we are in full lockdown mode again. I've just taken Winston to the toilet and we've had to get back into the caravan as quick as possible so we could just open and shut the door really quick, not to let any midges in. There is still quite a few midges in here though, and I've been going around trying to kill as many as possible. I don't know how they're getting in. I mean, I think I've just got to face the fact that there is going to be some midges in here and they are going to continue to get in. My biggest concern is just making sure that there isn't masses of them again so that they eat me alive and wake me up at 5:30 in the morning. Like, I don't know what else to do. I've blocked everything. I put this fan on and I leave the light on the fan. So I turn all the other lights off and go to sleep. And this light faces the door to try and keep the midges kind of over this side near the light. I've also got Avon So Soft Skin. I've got this Jungle Formula Maximum. I've also got some smidge in the van. I'm itching because of all these. I've got loads of like little red dots all on me, you know, from where like mosquitoes and stuff have been biting me. I don't know if you can see it. I've got another one on the hand there. I've got one on my face up here. Loads on my chest for some reason. So yeah, I look like I've got chickenpox or some sort of disease. I don't think I've ever killed so many insects before in my entire life as what I have done in the past 48 hours of being on this campsite. Such a shame. I absolutely love this campsite. But this is kind of spoiling it for me, even though it's one of those things that what can you do about it? We're in Scotland, it's May, midges are out, you know. It is spoiling it though, which is a shame. Hopefully my little electric bug zapper that I'm getting tomorrow will work. But as I said, I might have far too high expectations for it. But anyway, we're going to try and get some sleep and I'll let you know how it goes in the morning. Right, so today's plans is a little different than usual. Usually we would get up, go for a walk, and then the afternoon would be spent working and chilling. We're doing things in reverse today because I've been invited to a friend's for tea, and because that's about 40 minutes to an hour drive away, we're going to do a hike on the way. So we're going to spend this morning chilling out and relaxing and sorting some bits out, doing a bit of work, and then this afternoon we're going to go out, we're going to do a hike, we're going to call in, have some tea, and then come back and go to bed, and then tomorrow we're leaving. So that is the plan for today. So I need to change this bed back into a seating area. Don't usually do this till later, and Winston likes to have his morning snoozes, but unfortunately I'm going to have to disturb him. I don't think he's going to like this. Winst, you have to go over this side. I need you to move over this side. Come on, come on. I know, good boy, I know, good boy. Over this side, over this side. Oh, he's a good boy, there you go. Keep your bum there. Good boy. Right, let me sort the rest out. Now. Thank you. After sorting out the caravan, I headed off for a late morning shower. When I got back, Winston got a treat just for existing, and I continued to pack away whilst trying to appreciate those few midgie-free hours of the day. It is a beautiful day here in Scotland, and I am back to absolutely loving this campsite again. I know this isn't, I don't want to say like as posh or as new as the campsite was at previously. The previous campsite had that big built facilities block with posh showers and bacon sandwiches on a Sunday morning, and they went round and offered campfires and kindling. It was, for me, that was a lovely campsite, but it was more commercialised, where this one, it just feels better. The vibe is just better. It's very chill. It's nice and quiet. People are about doing stuff. They're going out on bikes. They're walking their dogs. They're chatting. But it's a different type of activity. Does that make sense? It's still so relaxed. And then you've got the lake over in the corner. You've got all the tents around there. It's just simpler. And for me, this is what a campsite should be. Although the previous one was lovely and technically there was nothing wrong with it, for me that's just not my type of campsite. It's not my vibe, and it just felt a little bit too commercialised, where this one is just perfect. Apart from the midges, but you know, what can you do? Now, even though that was a glowing review, this campsite was expensive. So let me give you a tour and a price breakdown. So I'm staying at Glentrool Camping and Caravan Site in the Galloway Forest Dark Sky Park in South Scotland, and I think you're mainly paying for the location more than anything else. So the site is split into 3 sections. So you have the touring pitches, which is where I was, and I liked my pitch. It was large, flat and relatively private. You then have the more permanent static caravans, and then down by the lake you had the tents. Now let me show you around the ladies' facilities. So they weren't anything special, but they were clean, the water was hot, and they did the job. Now I stayed on this campsite for 4 nights in May 2024. I had a hard standing electric pitch and it cost me £148, so that averaged £37 per night. Now, out of the 16 campsites that I have booked for this trip, this campsite was the 3rd most expensive. And although I like this campsite, I'm not quite sure if it's worth that price. Although I did like that the toilet smiled at you when you put the seat down. But what do you think? This is obviously a great campsite. Would you pay £37 per night to stay here? So I'm just planning our route to our next stop. We're currently down here at Glentrool and we're going to be travelling up to Oban. Now, although this route is shorter, we're actually going to be taking this one. And that is because I want to avoid this one road past Loch Lomond, which is the A82. I drove this last year with the caravan as I went up to do the North Coast 500, and this road is horrendous to drive. I don't even know how I managed to get through it in one piece. So the lanes are really narrow, and then they're very unforgiving because on one side you've got a steep wall and on the other side you've got oncoming traffic. Now, because this is an A road, you get all sorts of vehicles going down here. You get big HGV lorries and big motorhomes, and because it's all twisty, twiny and bendy, when they come around the corner, if a big HGV is coming around a bend, it's got to go into your lane in order for it to make the turn. there was just crashes everywhere. I think there was 2 crashes on it when I went down. One was with a motorhome, another car, and then when they've got to stop at the side of the road, no one else can really get past. So it was horrible. It was a horrible, horrible, horrible road to drive. I wouldn't recommend doing it unless you're in anything other than a very small vehicle. So yeah, we are not doing that again. Give me a heart attack last time. We're going to go for the much longer route, but hopefully a much easier and smoother drive. But that's tomorrow's drive. So let's get back to today, because we are now ready to head out on our daily mini adventure. So we're about 20 minutes late because Google took us a very interesting way. I'm not complaining though, because it was a great drive, great views. One of those drives where you'd rather be a passenger, because as the driver you're having to keep your eyes on the road, especially because of all the twists and turns and single tracks. But at the same time you want to just stop and look out the window at the views. Oh, look at this. This is interesting. So we're going to see that Dalquarren Castle. Now I think there's 2 of them, but they're actually the same castle. So I think it was just rebuilt somewhere else. But I believe that one of them is completely abandoned, and that's the one that we're going to hopefully get to explore around. We shall see. So this is the ruins of the old castle. So this castle consists of a ruined 15th century tower. This was then extended to form an L shape. It had 3 stories, a vaulted basement, and it was surrounded by landscape gardens. Quite a steep drop, runs. Yeah, you wait there. Ah, back, wait. Okay, we're not going down there, that's quite... I don't think if I get down there I'll get out again. Now sadly, in about 1790, this castle was abandoned for a new mansion, which is what we're going to see next. So this here is the new, albeit abandoned, castle. As we entered, we met a local who told me a bit of history of the mansion. He told me I could go inside and that it is believed to be one of the most haunted places in Scotland. Now, as someone who has climbed walls and jumped through windows to explore old factories, an open door was just too tempting. Of course, this time I had to be twice as careful because I had Winston with me. Here, Winst. Right there. You're gonna have to stay with me first. Stay there. This mansion had 3 stories, and it was designed symmetrically around a top-lit spiral staircase, very similar to Dalquarren Castle, which Winston and I visited last year. Winst! Get off that. Thank you. Now what you see in this room is the main spiral staircase. I was told that it recently crumbled due to the weight of that tree, but previously you could have walked all the way up. The building was extended in 1881, but the family got into debt, and it was later used as a youth hostel and a school for the deaf. But in 1967, it was stripped of its roof to avoid taxation. The castle is believed to be haunted by a woman who committed suicide on the grounds. That was really cool and I really enjoyed myself, but we've got to go. Firstly because we're going to be late for tea, and secondly because I didn't really want Winston wandering around too much inside, so we stayed to like the main bits. But if I was on my own and if I had all the time in the world, then I would have went in every single room. I would have went to the basement, I would have explored as much as I could. I probably would have tried to get up those stone stairs in that little room because that's just the type of person I am. I love exploring things like that. So, not today, not with Winston, not whilst we're in a rush. This is an out and back trail, so we're walking back past the first castle. Sounds like it's raining, but I'm not feeling any rain. Might be because I'm in the trees. Is it raining? Yeah, it's spitting. We're going this way, Wins. And he's gone the wrong way again. We're going down this way. After meeting with my friend for dinner, I then made a pit stop to fill up on fuel and went to pick up my Amazon delivery from a nearby locker. It's a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be. It was then time to head back to the campsite after a very long day. So it's about 9:15, just got back. Winston can smell the chicken curry that I got sent home with, which I'm very grateful for. I'm going to really enjoy this tomorrow. It's great not having to cook, and I had it tonight and it was really tasty. It was great to catch up with some old friends again. Had a lovely time, but it was a long drive back. It's now late. I need to make the bed up, and I also want to try out my new Lumi-mosi light. I'll be honest, I thought this was going to be bigger. This looks quite small, but if it works, it works. I'm hoping that it doesn't let me down because I have a lot riding on this. But yeah, let's crack this out, get it going, and I just want to get to bed. So I'm guessing that the red light means it's charging. The blue light is the fly killer. And then this light you can change for brightness. So if you want to use it as an actual light, if you don't want to have a light, or if you want a soft light, for example, to go to bed in and still attract the flies. So let's see how it goes. So I've just set it up there. Whilst I sit here, I'm going to quickly try and respond to some of the YouTube comments because it's Wednesday, a video came out tonight and it's 9:10 and I've not had a chance to respond to any comments yet. So I'm going to go through them whilst that hangs there. Winston is... he's getting comfy. Where's he going? Oh, you want to cuddle. Okay. Oh, Winston gets a cuddle. Now I have to say it is working. There are dead midges in it. My only concern is that it's giving off a very slight burning smell. So I don't know how safe I feel about sleeping with it on. Although I suppose the smell is just the midges getting frazzled. I don't know. I'm going to leave it on for a bit longer and see. But I do like the light it's giving off. I've got these lights on up here as well whilst I work, but it's giving a very comfortable, warm, cozy light feeling, if that makes sense. Winston has had a very hard day, haven't you? Oh, such a stressful day. Exploring castles, going and get loads of cuddles off friends and have them feed you treats. Oh, such a horrible, hard life. Okay, so you sleep and I'll do some work. It's already caught a lot of midges, and you can really see on this camera. I think it blurs, but there's a fair few in there already, which is both sad and satisfying at the same time. So when I woke up this morning, there were no flies in here. That little light thing seemed to have done its job, and had a really nice sleep and woke up lovely. I then stupidly lifted the pop top, opened the window blinds, and I took Winston out to go to the toilet. And I don't know whether they've came in through the pop top or whatever, or whether they've just managed to get in as we've been opening and closing the door. But I then had a mini swarm in here, so I've had to close all the blinds again, shut the pop top, turn all the lights off, and just leave the bug zapper light on. And I'm just watching it kind of reduce the numbers. But yeah, fingers crossed Oban doesn't have as many midges. Now, I lied a bit in a previous video because I said that my trip from the Yorkshire Dales to here near Galloway Forest was the longest leg of the journey. It's actually not. It's actually the one I'm doing today, from here near Galloway Forest all the way up to Oban. And the reason why this one's going to work out longer is because I'm missing out that road that goes up past Loch Lomond. I said last time I did it that I'm never going to do it again with a caravan. It's a horrible road to have to drive. So we're making a big detour into Stirling and then across to Oban, which is obviously going to make the journey longer. I think it's going to be about a 3.5, 4 hour drive, probably closer to 4 hours. So that's my max when it comes to driving. I don't like to drive any longer than that in a day. So yeah, I'm going to eat this, get everything packed away, get washed and changed, and then try to get on the road, hopefully before 10 o'clock. It's 20 to 8 at the moment, so I've got 2 hours to pack up, to get washed and changed, and to hitch up. Should be plenty of time. So better crack on and finish my breakfast.